Now get ready for Watching Weird, your ultimate destination for mind-bending movie reviews and recommendations. From hidden gems to cult classics, we explore it all. Hosted by storytellers and cinephiles Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne, with a special shout-out to Landis Aldana and Alan Lasseter for their incredible support that help us keep the lights on at Weird. Now grab your Coke, popcorn, and tinfoil hat, and let's get weird.
Hey, you guys got your
Oh.
tinfoil hats?
Yeah, I forgot mine.
Happy hump day.
Oh, bent. How is
I bet you
everybody
forgot
today?
the popcorn too.
I am good. 5 weeks from today, I'll be out of school.
It's not time you graduated.
I know.
Oh, no. I don't graduate for another 3 years. But I've taken the courses so many times, they now have me teach them. I tell
Well,
people,
it's good to see you, gentlemen.
in my senior year, I took astronomy, but my father told everybody I took up space in school. So. Hey, Tony.
Tony,
Hey, Jones.
hey, buddy. Oh, I'm
Oh.
sorry, everyone. I am very sleepy tonight. It's been a long
think we
couple
all
of
are.
days.
Yeah, I am too. You know, it snowed here yesterday.
Yeah, you said that.
No.
How the hell is that possible?
Crazy, and we had such bad windstorms that it uprooted like about 40 trees
Oh,
up
man.
in the mountains where I was working yesterday, and crazy.
What's the I mean, you're in the high desert, but what's the elevation?
Yeah, we're high desert, you know.
Do you know what the elevation
So-
is?
Huh? Oh, I don't know what the elevation is. You know, I'd have to look that up. But we're basically high desert, so you know we get snow. But in May, you know, just weird. It's been rainy, overcast for a week and a half. You know, you guys get a lot of rain, right, where you live?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The Merrimack River in Manchester is higher than it's been in ages. And it's starting to get, and we're supposed to get another 3 or 4 days of rain this weekend. So,
Oh,
yeah, so the river might overflow.
Alan, your elevation is 4,413 feet.
Hey,
thank
Landa.
you. I thought I was pretty high. Hey,
I
Landa.
know, you're pretty high. Hey, Linda.
Thank you. That's why we have a professor, Dr. Scientist Man, on staff here.
Yeah, because Google is damn hard to use sometimes.
Yeah.
You need a scientist for that. I just happen to know the elevation of your hometown in my head. Damn.
You googly.
I
Well-
did. I done Googled it.
Hey, Landa. So you guys were doing Brothers Grimm, which
Mhm.
is Scott tonight, right?
Yep.
Rich is Hellboy,
Yeah.
and I'm doing Pan's. Hey, Tony. Tony
Hey,
Canuck
Tony.
is with us tonight.
Okay, early.
And I'm doing Pan's Labyrinth. 3 fantasy movies, 2 directed by the same guy, and Monster Man Doug Jones in 2 of the movies. So, well, I don't know if that connection was made when these movies were thrown together by the boss. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping she's
Yeah.
back soon, actually.
Wait, who was
I
Doug
think so.
Jones in the second movie?
For the second movie, he was the Fawn and the skinny dude, the one that ate the fairies.
In
The Pale
Pan's
Man.
Labyrinth?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
the Fawn in Pan's Labyrinth and in the Pale Man.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Okay. I did not know that.
Yeah. So who wants to start tonight?
We'll let Rich start since he's tired.
Thanks.
Okay.
But we'll get it out of the way. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you can nap.
I actually didn't do a write up. I got here late tonight, so I didn't do a write up like I usually did. But Hellboy is a 2004 film, and it stars Ron Perlman and Selma Blair as 2 sort of weird superheroes. Hellboy himself he was sort of found, but at this demonic entrance to another realm, in 1944, maybe. It was during the World War II. And John Hurt is a young soldier back then, and they're trying to stop Grigory Rasputin from opening a portal to the Ogra Jihad, which are these sort of huge Leviathan-esque, not H.G. Wells. Help me, gentlemen. Who's the guy I'm looking for?
Lovecraft, H.P. Lovecraft.
Lovecraftian creatures with the huge tentacles and big eyes and all that superpower magic stuff. And so he wants them to come back and take over the world and kill everybody. And so, yeah, bad Rasputin, bad. And the army, the U.S. Army comes in, stops them, and they find this little creature jumping around with kind of nubby horns and a tail and a big arm. And big right arm, and they sort of adopt him. He ends up he's red, of course. He looks like a devil or a demon, and he's red. Fast forward to more or less present, 2004 times, and Hellboy is now grown up, and he's Ron Perlman. And what he does, his job is he works for the Paranormal Defense. I can't remember the name.
BPRD.
Yeah, Bureau for Paranormal Defense and something. So he's pretty tough. He goes in and he fights this one big demon called Samael, who's I actually really like that. I thought that was pretty cool the way they did that demon. He fights this demon and he thinks he kills the demon, but he doesn't. And then we find out that the demon was in this reliquary, and it has to do with Grigory Rasputin is coming back. And he's got two stooges that work for him. One is his old girlfriend, and another is who are both immortal, by the way. His old girlfriend is immortal, and this sort of an old Nazi hitman who's got like dust for blood, and he's got these little things that he turns on himself to keep himself going. It was actually really well done. So they're trying to bring back the Ogra Jihad again. I should stop saying jihad. And of course, the Bureau for Paranormal Defense is trying to stop him, so they send in Hellboy. And it's basically that story. If you haven't seen Hellboy, shame on you. You should have seen it by now. It's a Dark Horse comic, and it's really good. I guess there were some problems in the making of this movie. Ron Perlman initially wasn't going to work out, and then he did work out, and it came across really well. There's a lot of cool critters in this, and there's a lot of great special effects. Some very little blood and guts, but the blood and guts that's there is really good. I don't know. This is one of the films that I truly enjoy. I'm ill prepared for this tonight. I apologize. I really enjoy this film. It spurned a sequel called Hellboy: The Golden Army, which I also watched this week, and then another redo with David Harbour as Hellboy. So it was an entire franchise for Dark Horse Comics that did really, really well. Let me see how much it made. I'll be digging for 10 minutes. So yeah, I enjoyed this flick. It's a movie that I've seen several times. I actually saw it at the movie theater because I had read a couple of the Dark Horse comics. I knew who Hellboy was, but I didn't really know anything, past just that, he's a good guy. He looks like a demon, or a devil, but he's a good guy. What did you guys think? Yes or no on this
one? Mike Mignola and Guillermo del Toro, they were talking about who they wanted to play Hellboy when they were getting this project together. And they both came up with Ron Perlman. They both were like, Ron Perlman. So he was on their minds as Hellboy. I mean, the creator of Hellboy had that in his mind, so that's pretty cool. Hey, Max. And also when they were making the movie, they were going to have to switch the stone hand, the right hand, to Perlman's left hand because they thought he was right-handed, but luckily he's left-handed. So they didn't have to ruin that aspect, especially for purists of the comic would probably be like, what? He's got a stone right hand. This is a good flick. I enjoy it a lot. The creatures in it are very cool. And like you said, Rich, well thought out. the way they operate and everything. David Hyde Pierce's voice for the fish tank dude is great. It fits that character perfect. And Ron Perlman was great. Selma Blair was great in this. The guy that runs the BPRD, I can't think of his name, eludes me right now, but he was on that.
Jeffrey Tambor.
Huh?
You talking about Jeffrey Tambor?
Yeah, Jeffrey Tambor. Thank you. He's always great in whatever role he is, but he's basically the same guy in every role he is anyway. He they stand out. The rest of the people in it, well, Rasputin, this dude, the actor, I think his name is Carl Roden, I think, or something like that.
It is, yeah.
He was in Frankenstein's Army. That movie, Frankenstein's Army. I believe he played the scientist that created those creatures in the bunker or whatever the Russians found. Great actor. This is a fun movie. Like Rich said, if you haven't seen this movie, shame on you. I tend to like the second movie a little better. The David Harbour version is not bad. It's more violent and bloodier than this one, but it's not Ron Perlman. There's also another movie out called Hellboy. There was a Crooked Man. I think it's on Netflix or something. And I forgot the actor who they have playing Hellboy, but it's a standalone movie. It's on Netflix or it's streaming somewhere. Look it up. I don't know if it's any good. I haven't seen anything about it. The preview, it looks really dark, and like a sparse type of Hellboy movie, and it's set. It looks like it's set in the 40s or 50s or something like that. Kind of crazy because Hellboy, they found him in the 40s, and he was a little baby Hellboy. I want to check it out, but rumor has it they might do a third one with Guillermo directing, writing, and Ron Perlman coming back. I read that somewhere today.
Good.
Just because the remake didn't do well, and they think if they bring Perlman back with Guillermo, it'll be a blockbuster, and I think it will be.
Yeah,
because people want to see that, and Hellboy's will not be, according to this, the main character. He'll be training his twins. So whatever, I don't read the comics, so I don't know where that lies in the canon of Hellboy, if it is even in the canon of Hellboy. But definitely this one is worth watching, enjoyable. It's one of those movies you can watch every year. Another trivia tidbit, Del Toro got this movie because of Blade 2. Blade 2 was a big hit, and the movie company was like, hey, let's get Guillermo. He turned down a Harry Potter movie, and I forgot the other movie, but they're both okay movies. But this one, I'm glad he took this one instead. Scott?
Is Hellboy part of the Marvel universe?
No, it's Dark Horse.
No.
Okay, completely different.
Yeah.
So Alan, the bad guy in Blade 2, the vampire, he's the bad guy in Hellboy, the Golden Army.
Oh.
It's the same guy.
Oh, okay. Yep. He's a British actor, right?
You can look right at him and immediately see that. Yeah, that it's him.
He's in a lot of B movies. He's in that one where they kidnapped that vampire.
Yeah.
They're in the hotel in Mexico.
Where they kidnapped the girl vampire.
Yeah, the girl vampire. Yeah. Okay, I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name, but he's in all kinds of movies. Yeah, cool.
Abigail. That's the name of that movie.
The movie. Yeah.
And Jack Kesy is the guy who plays Hellboy in the new Hellboy.
Okay.
The ESY. I just looked it up now. I didn't know that off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think he was in a Transformer movie with Wahlberg, one of those. I think Jack Kesy. Yeah. He's been some other movies too, and I think he's a Brit or an Aussie or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't think he's a G.I. Joe like us.
They always get Brits to play the bad guys. Right. Alan Rickman, this guy, the governor.
Yep. I know,
what
man.
Do you think of this one, Scott?
My turn?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did I cut you
Yes,
off,
sir.
Alan? Were you going to say
No.
something?
No. Go ahead, Scott. You're up.
I love this movie. It is a perfect blend of action, comedy. They throw in a lot of supernatural. I mean, it's just a fun movie. Ron Perlman, I love his character. I love the fact when he's fighting Sam Hale, he's beating him up with one hand, but he saves the box of kittens with the others.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter that he like destroys the entire subway station, but he's got to save the kittens. And he's so crushing on his girlfriend. He's following her and he's trying to listen to her, and he's getting really mad because the new guy, he thinks he's hitting on her.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie. It's a great family movie. Everybody can watch this, and it's filled with action. You don't get bored. It's just, you have like a huge action scene, then you do a little character, then you have another huge action scene. I think they, for the older ones like us, they meld in the World War II and the Nazi supernatural and Rasputin, who didn't actually die in 1917. And what I love is the relationship between Timbre and Perlman, where they absolutely hate each other. And then at the end, when Timbre lights the cigar and he's like, no, you don't use a lighter. And he like lights it with the match. And then they're really good friends over a cigar. It's a fun movie. I enjoyed watching it the first time. I enjoyed watching it a couple of nights ago. I don't really see a lot of flaws in this movie. And even if there are, who cares? It's supposed to be fun. It's a good movie, well directed. All the actors and actresses are great in this one. Special effects are phenomenal. So, yeah, I highly recommend this if you haven't yet.
And your rating is?
4.7.
Very nice.
Well,
What about you, big man?
I'll give this a 4.5. Solid 4.5. Hard as a rock, hard as a diamond, 4.5.
Nice. Wow. I guess I have to give it a 4.6 to be in the middle of you guys. I'll be the meat in this sandwich. It was pretty good. I'll watch it again. And then
it's a Restucci sandwich. I'll have the Restucci. No mayo. Hold the mayo.
Hey, anybody who doesn't like what we're saying, just remember we were left unsupervised.
Yes.
True.
Oh, I want to say hi to Dan and Max. Dungeon Dan and Max.
Yep. Hi, Dungeon.
Hello, boys.
Well, do you want to do yours, Scott?
Yeah, well, I'll do it. I had never seen this movie before, The Brothers Grimm. I really enjoyed this movie. It was made 2005 it was directed by Terry Gilliam. I got to admit, I was like shocked. I didn't realize that Wilhelm was Matt Damon.
No,
I think the way he had his hair. But Matt Damon and Heath Ledger play Wilhelm Grimm and Jacob Grimm. And the whole concept is they're con artists. They pretend they're these supernatural guys, and they've got these two weirdo con men that like go ahead, set it up, and then they do these great exorcisms and scare the town people and get tons of money. And then that night there's a big party, and they get all the Matt Damon gets all the pretty girls. And this is what they're doing. They're making they're con artists. But what happens is they're eventually, this is in German occupied France, and the local authorities arrest them because they think they're legitimate, and they want them to get rid of this mirror spirit, which is played by the gorgeous Monica Bellucci. and they wind up teaming up with who's the
Lena Headley.
Lena Headey.
Lena
Lena
Headey.
Headley. Thank you. I couldn't think of her name. Lena Headley, who teams up with them, and what they do is they have to figure out what's going on. What is this Mira Queen up to? Why are all these children disappearing? And meanwhile, the German guy that was sent to oversee them also now starts to become like their friend and their good guy and starts believing in them. What I really loved about this movie was everything that happens in it. You get it's going to be what they write about later. The Mira Queen lives in this high tower somewhere, and nobody can get up there. And she went up there, and she had this long, beautiful, flowing black hair, and the whole movie is supposedly just these kids were con artists. They finally went ahead and did something, really good. And then afterwards, they wrote books about everything they did, but they called it fiction. It's a fun movie. Very good special effects. The acting was good. I mean, it wasn't brilliant. It was an Academy Award performance. Special effects were good. It's definitely a must-see one-time movie, but this is another one. I would say this is a family movie. I don't remember there being any blood in it, anything really over the top. Some scare scenes, some action. I went into it thinking I'm going to be bored the hell out of this one. Was way better than I expected. Didn't do too well though. What was it? They spent. I just had it. Oh, they spent $88 million making this movie, and on opening night and opening weekend in the U.S. and Canada, it brought in $15 million. And gross wise, it only made $37 million in the U.S. and Canada, but worldwide it made $105,000. So this movie, for some reason, and it doesn't say where in worldwide, this movie was very popular overseas. Maybe like the Europeans liked it because it was their folklore, but I enjoyed it. I recommend it.
This one, I think it's hard to market this one. Really hard to market it. People think Brothers Grimm, it's a kids movie, whatever. I think that was the problem, Scott. Do you want to go, Rich?
Okay. You're on a roll.
This was directed by Terry Gilliam. One of my favorite movies, Brazil. He directed that with Jonathan Pryce, Jonathan Pryce is in this one too. If you haven't seen Brazil, do yourself a favor and watch it.
I never have.
Great. Oh, you should watch. It is De Niro's in it too, which is really weird, and his part is weird. But it's a good movie. But be prepared for the ending.
Okay.
It's got one of the most memorable endings of any movie you'll probably ever watch. I still remember that from when I watched it. This is a fun movie. You're right, Scott. It was a fun movie to watch. Heath Ledger, gone too soon. That guy who knows, what he would be doing nowadays. He just a great talent that was just, snuffed out too soon. He's better in this movie than Matt Damon is, I think.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a big Matt Damon fan. He does some movies I like, but Peter Stormare, gotta love Peter Stormare. He's the guy that was overseeing them, the German.
Oh yeah.
You gotta love him. That's not redundant, but that dude is great in almost everything he's in.
Yeah.
You need your movie perked up a little bit, grab Peter Stormare and throw him in as a kooky, eccentric person, maybe as a Russian or he is Swedish, actually. Um, so he's a high point of the movie, I think. Lena, you bring in Cersei Lannister, one of her. I think that was one of her early roles in that. Uh, it's a good flick. It's a lot of fun. And then you've got Monica Big Hands Bellucci in this, and she adds to it as she plays this role a lot. I think in movies as the femme fatale type.
Evil Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She reminded me in this movie a lot of Beetlejuice, her character. There.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Terry Gilliam, his movies are real eccentric. I think this is one of his more mainline ones. He did this one with the infamous Weinstein brothers, and there's a big fallout between Weinstein and him over how
Both
it was getting
Weinsteins,
made.
actually.
Yeah,
They
and
both
you could,
had.
yeah.
What happened with the?
Yeah,
I mean, how did the Weinstein brothers were involved in this?
They were the producers.
They produced a lot of movies, a
Okay.
lot. They were pretty powerful in Hollywood. I don't know what the other brothers doing, but you got the one that's in prison right now.
Yeah.
Because he liked to show everybody his bits and put his bits on people. This is a fun movie to watch. I think, like I said, it was hard to market to us, and probably over in the UK and stuff, it's easier to market. Just because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
Here, probably the generation of kids right now that are that age to read fairy tales, probably a lot of them will get fairy tales read to them. And if they do, it's not the fairy tales you want them to be read to, the old Grimm's, standardized, it's something else. So I think a lot of people see this movie and they're just like, I'll pass it, but it's an enjoyable movie. I recommend it. It's not one I'll watch every year, but it is watchable if you haven't seen it. And Damon and Ledger are good together playing the Grimm brothers. Definitely, they've got a good chemistry. Rich?
Before we start, let's say hi to Doc. Doc Fried, our world traveler, showed up.
Doc.
Hey, Doc.
Nice to see you, Doc. So this one's kind of nightmare fuel. It's got some spooky stuff going on. There's a scene with the whole thing is, once the con men get on the real case, it's about little girls that are going missing. And the way they go missing is just weird. There was this scene with mud where this little mud creature comes. Oh, that was freaky. And then there was a horse that sort of sneezed out spider webs and grabbed the girl and brought her into the horse. I mean, that was some freaky stuff. That was weird. I liked it. I've seen this movie several times. I saw it at the movie theater. My wife was actually a big fan of this movie too. She liked it. I think it's good. Like you guys said, it's a fun flick. It's definitely family oriented. You can I wouldn't say young kids, but younger kids.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Could watch this with no issue at all. It's got a really decent cast. Like you said, Alan, Peter Stormare, he's phenomenal. He's the best Satan ever in Constantine. He was just absolutely fantastic in that.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
Wait a minute. He was Satan in Constantine?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
He was bald with the tattoos and the weird with the weird no eyebrows. Yeah, he was freaky.
Oh.
So yeah, he's great in this as the torturer dude, or the what do you call it? The go-between.
Yeah.
And Monica Bellucci, there's definitely a couple of things I like about her. She's got the big hands. She's a pretty good actress. She's always got that same role though. And like you said, Scott, she is beautiful.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But Rich, her hands are so big, it would make you feel inadequate.
You think? Oh wow, my hands are all cut off. I got some big hands, man. But I hear you. I feel you, Doug. Yeah, this is a good flick. It's worth seeing. Like you said, Alan, it's not a movie I'll watch every year, but I think between the three of us, it's going to get a decent rating. It's a fun flick. It's good to watch. The special effects are outstanding, especially when you consider that this is this is sort of a low grade horror movie over an action movie.
Mhm.
It's got elements of both, but just the way some of the things went off, and then when Monica Bellucci's all old and dusty and stuff, that was pretty cool too. The way they did that. So that and the horse with sneezing the spider webs and the mud critter, it was well done. Well, I will rate this fairly decently. In fact, I could rate it now if you wanted me to.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll give this a solid 4, rock hard 4. I enjoyed it.
Right.
I think I like Hellboy a little better,
Mhm.
but this was well done. I enjoy this type of thing, so yeah, I'll give it a 4.
Alan,
Scott?
3.75.
I'm going to be monkey in the middle. I'm going to give 3.9 solid. Snicker bar.
Wavering 3.9.
3.9. Give it that. Max and Dungeon Dan were also saying Stormare was the crazy Russian in Armageddon. Yep.
I
And he
love
was the wood chipper guy in Fargo. Yeah.
Yep.
I loved him in Armageddon.
So the first thing I
Yep.
saw him in was Fargo. That was the very first movie I remember Stormare in.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was him.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
working
great.
He's working with Steve Buscemi. Isn't Steve Buscemi the other guy?
Yeah,
Who was the other
Yes,
guy?
Steve
With? It
Buscemi,
was,
yes.
right? Yeah.
yeah.
So it was
In
the
fact,
two of
Steve
them
Buscemi
together.
offed, right? He kills Steve Buscemi, right?
Yeah, he puts him through the wood chipper.
Wood chipper.
Yeah.
Oh, and
That's right.
Fargo.
Yeah.
I thought so because I remember Steve Buscemi in Armageddon.
Yeah, that's right.
I never put that together. They're both, yeah.
Yeah.
Better suited for dogs. We're trying to avoid that land of the outright verbiage of that. No, he'd be perfect because he's in some Swedish Norwegian TV series and movies too. I forgot which one I watched, but it was like, holy crap, that's Peter Stormare.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll do pans. This 2000 and I want to say 6.
Yep.
2006, yeah.
Yep.
Pan's Labyrinth. I wasn't looking forward to seeing this one. I'd never seen it before, and it just to me sounded like it was going to be boring. It just did. The subject matter and everything, and I watched it, and oh my goodness, this is great. This is a great flick. Takes place during World War II, I believe 1944,
Yes.
like Hellboy at the beginning.
Yep.
And it's with the Spanish fascists are running the country, and you have the rebels that are trying to fight the fascists. And this little girl, her name is Ophelia. Ophelia, like the song. Her mom is pregnant by a Captain Vidal, who's a fascist and very evil. And they're taken to their encampment in the forest to have this baby, as one does. But they're also hunting the rebel faction there. And the little girl Ophelia, she likes to read fantasy, and she escapes into a fantasy world that is just pure, using Rich's words, nightmare fuel and Guillermo del Toro perfection. And I really, if you haven't seen this movie, I don't want to say too much, even though that's what we do on the show. I think you should watch this movie. I don't think there's an English language version, but it is in subtitles. And so it's a movie, if you're not into subtitles, too bad. Learn to read. This movie's worth it. The special effects in it are just magnificent. It's just the cinematography in this movie it's a beautiful movie. It's beautifully put together. It's basically a dark fairy tale, and it just goes together well. And there's enough action, and the actors are good, really good in this, especially the guy playing the fascist captain. I better watch how I use that word these days. But now, this guy, he's played by a Spanish actor, Sergi Lopez, who was a comedic actor before he made this movie, and he had to lower his voice an octave and speak real deliberate to come across menacing. And if you've seen this movie, you know this guy is just straight up asshat. I mean, there's no, like we were talking about earlier, you guys, one of you guys said there's no redeeming qualities in this character at all. You just can't wait to see him get his. And um, it flows. It flows. It's not a slow movie, and that's what I was afraid of, that it was going to be slow, like my speech here. But it moves. It just flows. And the night and the underworld scenes with the fantasy creatures and stuff, really cool. Especially this creature called the Pale Man. That thing is just, you wouldn't want to wake up in that standing in the corner of your room at night. No way. It's beautifully shot, like I said. Doug Jones plays the fawn creature and the Pale Man creature. He played the fish guy in Hellboy. In Hellboy 2. He's constantly playing monsters in movies, especially skinny monsters. You guys probably all know him. He's great in this. And he was the only non-Spanish speaking actor on the set. And Guillermo was the only bilingual person on the set. So he had to do all his communication through Guillermo. They got along good. Obviously, Guillermo likes him because he uses him for all his movies. And Del Toro loved this. He had this in his mind as a kid, and it just followed him for forever and ever. He wanted to make it a movie, and because he's really big into the Spanish Civil War, which this was going to be a trilogy. I don't know if you've ever seen The Devil's Backbone, which is the first movie. This is the second movie. He hasn't done a third movie yet, but it's about Spain and their turmoils during that time. Anyway, and with supernatural bit. Anyway, so he did not get paid to make this movie, and he foregoed back points on the end of the box office to get this movie made. And it was a big hit. It was a huge hit. So he chose well. There was a American movie company wanted to make it, but they wouldn't make it. Of course, we'd make it like we make them.
Yeah.
He didn't want it made like that. He had his vision, and he got it out there. So I was really surprised. I like this movie a lot. It's not a movie I would watch a lot. Maybe if they came out with an English language version, that might be neat to hear that, But I would hate to read this movie again. But it's very well done. The ending is solid. Well worth your watch. But be prepared to read. Unless you're fluent in the Spanish, then you're all right. I'm not. Rich?
It's a good flick. I really like this movie. The special effects are it was just new. The stuff that they did, and a lot of them are practical effects with people wearing suits and makeup and stuff like that. And I don't know if there was any CGI in this. I'm thinking about, I guess the bug, the little
the fairies.
Yeah, all the small stuff. But the practical effects and, the things with eyes in weird places, that type of stuff, that just freaks people out. That gets under your skin. I really enjoy this movie. It's a movie that I will watch again because I've seen it twice now, and both times I was like, I didn't see that last time. So I'm torn on the ending. The ending of this is just hard. It's just, I'm not going to say I didn't like it. I'm just going to say it's not made to be liked. It's made to just go, really? And you kind of do. But until you get there, the downright evilness of Captain Vidal and the way he treats his new wife and his new, daughter, all the staff that works with him, and God help you if you're, not one of his fascist people, because you're going to get tortured and killed. I mean, he beats the guy to death. He beats one guy to death with a wine bottle. He just caves his face in, and that was a pretty gruesome scene. I thought this was a kids movie when I first saw it, and as soon as we got to that scene, I was like, "This is not a movie for children." So this isn't like the other two. I would not call this a family movie unless your kid is, a psychopath and likes to smash people's faces with, bottles.
Sounds like my nephew.
Yeah. So it's that kind of thing. If the kid can take blood, yeah, it was good. Um, I thought the acting was really good, except for the mom. There was just something
Yeah.
about her that didn't work for me. I think she's a pretty decently famous Spanish actress. I don't know her name, but I've seen her in other things with Spanish subtitles. Spanish movies, not Latin movies. And I thought she was a little flat. I thought her deliveries on her disappointment with her daughter, like especially when her daughter gets this dress that's made by her mom, or I think it was made or purchased by her mom, and she has to wear it into this mud hole, or actually she hangs it up on a stick while she climbs into a mud hole to get this tree back by feeding rocks to a frog, basically, or a toad. And then her dress gets blown into the mud. Her shoes are all a mess, and she gets back, and her mom's like, "You disappointed me." I was like, "Wait, what? That's it? It's got to be more." So, other than that scene, and the ending is a bit off for me.
Much.
Other than those scenes, this is a fantastic, really good movie. You're not going to get better creature effects. I mean, Alan was saying earlier about how the Hellboy and this are pretty close, and they are. They have some for sure links. But if you watch the Hellboy 2 movie, which I just watched the other day, it's very close. It's extremely close to the Pan's Labyrinth. So this is another movie that, like I said, I'm going to watch again because I fear I missed some things, and I want to go back and see, because you're reading the subtitles and you look up and then there's a cool creature there and you're like, what, did I miss something? So I want to go back and see that kind of thing. But yeah, this is a good flick.
Scott? Yes. Yeah, you're Scott.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I am. I was not looking forward to this movie, and I almost didn't watch it, but I thought, nah, I might as well watch it. I should know. I am so glad I did. This movie blew me away. I thought it was a stupid kids movie, and it was like I'd be bored stiff. No, it is dark, but there's like the Labyrinth, nightmarish dream world dark, and the reality dark. I loved Vidal. He is now up there with Hans Gruber as bad guys. I just love. He is so heartless with everyone. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. I kind of disagree with you about the mother. I took her acting to be like, she's going to do whatever he says. She needs a place to go. She needs a place to stay. And when he berates the daughter, she doesn't stand up for him. When she's like, I'm disappointed in you. Yeah, because you didn't wear the dress and impress Vidal at the party. The whole thing with the fawn, you're not sure what he is and what he's like. I sort of guessed that last scene. I kind of thought, and I turned out to be, I was right. But it is just a fantastic movie. The special effects are great. The acting is so good. Like I said, Vidal is just the guy who plays him. And Rich, weren't you saying he's a comedic actor?
Yeah,
he's a comedic. Yeah, he was a comedic actor before this, and they didn't want him. They really didn't want to take a chance on him, but Guillermo liked him, and he, interviewed him and everything. He said, "Yeah, you can do it."
Yeah, he rocked.
But comedians sometimes make the best bad guys, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Alan Rickman.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I watched this movie. I am going to watch it again probably over the summer because I'm sure there's a lot of stuff I missed because I was doing something on the computer. But I wished I'd watched this when it first came out. I would have had years more to enjoy it. Really is a good movie. I highly recommend this. If you have to pick between the three of them, choose between Hellboy and this one.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think you'll be disappointed with this. It is, Dan said it earlier. Dan said it earlier about it being just really dark, a bizarre ending. Wait a minute. You hesitated? Because I didn't think this was an effed up movie. I thought this was just going to be like a bad kids movie. I don't want to see that. I love it
too.
You know, I love it. I like the movie I picked, Terror Raccoons 2 or whatever it was. I mean, that was so bad.
Camel Moss Vibrator Women from Pluto. That's your movie.
Yeah. But this was.
Let me give a shout. Oh, go ahead, Scott. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, this was a hidden gem for me. I really enjoyed it. I watched it last night. I'm so glad I did. And yeah, the ending is a little depressing, but it's also got a sort of a happy realism to it.
Yeah. You know, the scene where, Mercedes attacks the captain, and then when you see later on, he's cleaning up his wound, and he's got that Joker slash right there. Yeah, that's great. That is great. That is just that you're just watching him sew it up, and you're just like, oh. And Mercedes, the actress that played Mercedes was great. I read a thing where she was like thinking about giving up on acting, and she got hired for this, and it, I looked her IMDb up. She's doing a lot of stuff. So it really boosted. Like I said, this movie was big, especially in the UK, Spain, and stuff like that. It was a big hit. And can I give a shout out to Clark, Lee Edwards, aka Ed Thickpin, and Alan Lassiter. Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thanks for coming, fellas.
Wow, I was just looking at the IMDb. This cost $19 million to make. It made, opening in the U.S. and Canada, $568,000. Worldwide, it brought in $83 million.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah. It just seems like for some reason it was a dud here.
Well, subtitles is one big thing. I have subtitles on because I can't hear worth crap anymore. Especially when you watch something with, some from the UK talking. It's like, what do you say? What Sean Connery did say?
Scottish actor.
Oh, you know what, Rich? Let's start calling Scott Blowfield.
Blowfield.
Oh, I expect you to die. Yeah, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
Goldfinger. Yeah.
Well, I'd rather Blofeld than
Dr. Evil.
Yes. $1 million.
Yeah, that's a movie. We haven't done that movie, have we?
No.
Any of them?
Oh man, that's classic, man. That is classic.
I am so waiting for Liam Neeson to remake Police Squad.
It should be coming out soon.
Yes.
It should be coming out soon. Yeah, Max, me too. I'm always have subtitles on. So what do you guys want to rate this one then? Rich?
This is another one I'll give it solid 4 to. I enjoyed it. Special effects are phenomenal. A couple things I would have changed, but overall, great.
Namely the end?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't change the end. I think the end was perfect for this movie.
Yeah,
and what
I agree. It was perfect and I hated it.
Yeah. Perfect, but you hated it. I give it 4.25.
Nice. I'm going to give it a 4. I'm going to give it a standing at attention 4. It's a movie like you said, Scott. I was like, and I pleasantly surprised. So if you haven't seen this movie, you should watch it, even with the uncomfortable subtitles. You know, it's worth watching. It really is. Yeah, I don't know if there's a dubbed version out there.
I don't think I'd want to watch the dubbed version.
Well, they always lose.
Watching
ahead,
it in
Scott.
Spanish, just I enjoyed it the more that way. It's like when you take a good Japanese Godzilla movie and then you put an American, you dub it in American. It's like, ugh.
Hey guys, there's a monster coming.
Yeah.
I love it when the voices don't match up to the character. They'll run a movie. You're right, because there's been some of those movies we were watching it, and the dubbing is just horrible. It might match up.
The Korean flicks all their dubs, huh?
Yeah.
If they end everything with huh?
Yeah, they're horrible. And the women are always, it's like, calm down. I don't know. Landa said she's glad that we like this one. She's holding her breath when she saw it was on deck. Yeah, it's a good movie. It is a.
Yeah. These were 3 decent flicks.
They were.
They were.
And we're on a roll too, because last week's were three decent movies too.
What's next week's movies? Do you guys know? You want me to look?
Yeah, please. What did we do last week?
Kong.
We did
the monster.
Go ahead, Rich.
Movies.
Oh yeah. Yes, Skull Island and God, I can't remember. My brain. School has destroyed my brain. I don't even know what I did for supper tonight.
We did Skull Island and crap. I went brain dead too. Rich, it's up to you.
Yep. Hold on.
Pacific Rim and
wait a minute. I got this. Documents, pictures.
Yeah, Pacific Rim and
Land That Time Forgot and Pacific Rim.
I forgot the Land That Time Forgot.
Yeah, me too.
That's right. You forgot the Land That Time Forgot. So what's next week's movie? I'm trying to find next week's movies for us. Crap. I had them. I'm trying to find out. Should be.
I do not know.
Here we go. Nope, that's not it. I know this is exciting, folks.
Right now, Hadley's watching in the other end, shaking her head. I sent it to them 8.
Right.
Oh, I'm hoping she's back
somewhere.
She will be.
Yeah, she's in her new place now, so she just needs to get her stuff, all of her stuff moved over, and then hopefully she'll be back. I know she wants to set up her office before she logs in with us, but I'm hoping it's next week or the week after.
Yeah, Max is getting on it. Okay, here we go. Max is getting snarky with us here, Mr. Man. Okay, this is cross-country races and road trips. It's 1976, the Gumball Rally, 81's Cannonball Run. We've only got 2 movies down there, though, so we're going to have to throw in a third one.
Oh, then we need to do Death Race, right?
Yeah.
We can pick either the one with Stallone or the one with Jason Statham.
No, pick the one with Stallone, because that one is so bad it's funny.
Okay, how about with Statham then? Let's do the one with Statham.
Yeah, but the other 2 are comedies.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, yeah.
I mean,
it was not
meant to be a comedy, but Death Race was funny.
I don't think it was supposed to be funny.
No, it wasn't. And I heard Stallone refuses to admit he was in that movie.
Oh yeah, just like the Italian Stallion.
Yeah.
Well, hey, how about this, guys? We got some suggestions. Rat Race, Max says. Stoker Ace, Landa says. Twisted Metal, we did the series a while back.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Lee. We did that series. That was great.
Yeah.
To Mad World. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I would do that one.
Yeah, that's
Let's
a
do
great
Mad World. Okay, let's do Mad
You
World.
want to add that one in? Let's do that.
Mad World,
Good.
Cannonball Run, and
Gumball Rally.
Gumball Rally.
Hey, Gumball Rally has a young Raul Julia in it.
Really?
His character's great in that. Yeah, he is great.
See the guy that drives the Mercedes?
With the professor, he's the one that takes the mirror and says, I do not see what's behind me. I just need to see what's ahead of me.
What's behind me is not important.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't replace Raul Julia, man. That just
No.
you know, they should have cloned him, and then we could have had Gomez Adams forever.
I didn't like when I first saw the new Gomez, but then I realized he's the only actor that looks like the Gomez from the comic strip.
Yeah.
You talking about
Rich
Luis
loves
Guzman?
him.
Yes, Guzman.
Yeah.
His name, yeah.
One of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
I love that guy. He's good. I've never seen him in a movie where he just didn't kill the role.
Yeah.
It was just fantastic.
The only person I do not like in that cast is Catherine Zeta-Jones. She's showing too much. That's not Morticia.
Yeah, she wasn't Angelica Houston was perfect.
Yeah.
Carolyn Jones was perfect.
The best.
Angelica Houston was perfect as it.
Yes, they do.
Tony. Yeah, thank you, Scott. Yeah. Oh yeah, Jackie Chan.
There's a lot of old-time actors that have cameos in that movie. Jerry Lewis, a whole bunch of them.
Is it like Buster Keaton or somebody like that? I mean, there's
Buster Keaton,
Richard Kiel.
In Cannonball Run,
Cannonball Run.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and like Dan said, Jackie Chan's in it. That was before he was big over here.
Jackie Chan is also in Cannonball Run.
Yep.
I believe he might be in Cannonball Run too. He's in one of those two movies.
Yeah, it might be Cannonball Run too, but I know he's in one of those. Like you said, he's in one of those. That's just got a big cast too. Yeah. That's about, and Gumball Rally's got a few. I think Gumball Rally's got, is it Adrian Barbeau or somebody like that?
And it's older than Cannonball Run.
Might be.
Yeah. That was a fun flick too. So next week we're gonna be burning rubber.
But I miss movies like that, like Mad World, where the whole cast were huge names.
Yeah. It's like an episode of The Love Boat in a movie.
Yeah. Except this one was done well.
So I'm looking at the cast of Gumball Rally.
Yeah.
And Gary Busey is in it.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he's great in it. I remember his character now. Yep.
Damn, there's some names here too. Stephen Blood, Linda Vaughn, John Lawler. Oh man. Yeah, it's gonna be a good week next week.
Yeah.
You guys got anything you want to pimp?
The only thing is the audible version of A World Gone Dark came out yesterday. So if you're into Audible books, swing by my Amazon page and pick it up.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask what Lee is talking about with his last statement.
Oh, Alien Earth, the series that's coming out.
No, the last comment.
Yeah. Oh. You missed that. That was a half hour ago, Lee. That's right before you got
yeah, we just finished talking about that, buddy.
Yeah, we voted 3-1 against it. Yeah, we'll probably do an Alien show, Lee. That'll, we'll probably get that series going.
Yeah. I know.
Rich, you got anything you want to pimp?
What's that, Alan?
You got anything you want to pimp?
I sent my newest novel to the editor, and I've gotten it back. I have to accept or reject changes, send it back to them, and then it goes and we're off. So hopefully this month, maybe next month. Not really sure yet. I was kind of shooting for March, but it is what it is. So we get it done as soon as we can. And Scott's book that he was just talking about, that's part of it's a 15 author, 15 book sort of collaboration in the same world called Ravaged Skies. And if I can get my shit together, I will also have a novel in that world. Yeah. Mine's going to be a little different, but it should be fun.
You know what's good about that, getting in a series like that, is your book in it is always sitting there in a good spot, because there's someone that always reads the series, and you got someone else that reads the series, and the guys read your book, so that's great. It just keeps it kind of relevant for however long people are reading the series. That's what we found out with Five Roads to Texas. I found out is a Salvation keeps, I'll look at it one day, it'll be high, and then the next it'll be low. It's like, oh, cool. It's low in the ratings or whatever, because the book sales good, So that's a nice thing about that, getting in something like that. You'll get readers. Yeah. Because they have to read. No, I'm trying to sound like a dick, but because they have to read your book to get to the, you know what I mean? You got to read number 5, but you got to read it. Okay.
Well, you don't have to in the Ravaged Skies. We're all doing the same apocalyptic event from our own points of view.
Well, yeah, you don't have to do it in Five Roads either. It's some of the characters do interconnect, and some are mentioned and stuff. But like with Salvation, you didn't need to read the whole series to get to that. It's basically kind of the first book and then my book, and you'd be good. I shouldn't say that.
Fred's napping on the sofa.
But you'd be good with my series, my characters. But anyway,
did you pimp anything out?
Been a fun No, I'm just working on 10 different stories, a sentence at a time.
Right. That's tough.
That's about it.
All right. Well, everybody read all of Alan's 10 sentences. That should be will be good, because we are at 102. We are over. Boys. Yes. So thanks, everybody. We very much appreciate you coming.
Yep.
Tune in next week for road races and fun.
Yeah. And stay weird.
And stay weird.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for fingering everybody, Rich.
It's my favorite. It's what I do.
All right, Wyrdlings, that's all for Watching Wyrd this week. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, the strange and unusual never sleeps. Well, except for maybe on Thursdays. Speaking of sleep schedules, here's a quick reminder about our other shows. Dive into the mysteries of the mind with Wyrd Awakenings every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cozy up with blondes, books, and campfire tales for spooky stories every other Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Hone your craft and connect with fellow writers on Write With Me on the third Sunday of each month. And don't forget, Watching Wyrd now airs live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For all things Wyrd, find us on social media via Linktree in the description below, or visit our website at wyrdrealities.net. Stay weird.